All right, welcome in everyone to the weekly reading. So this is going to be for the week starting November 17th through the 23rd. And this is another big week. There's 3 just big astrological events that we're going to kind of tap into and get some information about how this is going to impact the collective or you individually. This is a general reading, so again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm going to try and get this video in before it gets too dark, but I always love the kind of ambiance and the energy of dusk. But all right, so let's see here. Before I dive in, if you are interested in a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, which is linked below in the description. Also, check out my Etsy shop as we're going into the holidays. I got some great energy tools, stone jewelry that have been metaphysically worked with. I do Reiki on them and also cleanse, rejuvenate them in the full moon. So calling that out. But okay, so first things first, we have on the 17th, the 18th, Mercury retrograde is moving into Scorpio. So we got a lot of Scorpio energy going on. We're still, the sun's still in Scorpio as well. And then we also have Venus in Scorpio. So big Scorpio energy. Then, of course, to add on to it, on the 19th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And then we'll finally shift a little bit on the 21st. We have the sun moving out of Scorpio into Sagittarius. So that should help lighten the energy a little bit. But we have a lot of Scorpion energy right now. Just a lot of water energy in general. So this is a big emotional period for everybody. If you want more information on what's happening energetically right now, especially with how this is impacting all of us emotionally, go check out my energy update video I posted. It's called Emotional Calibration. A lot of great information there. That is my first kind of new type of video I'm going to be doing going forward. I'm going to be doing, it's a combination of intuitive information that I'm getting just through downloads and through kind of my own kind of connection. And then I do some channeled messages as well in there from higher guides, higher dimensional beings. So I'm going to do more of that. Let me know how you like that in the comments. But let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to tap in to all 3 of these big events happening this week and see how this is going to impact all of us. All right, so I got the Moonology cards. Let's see what this energy of this week is going to be. So we got, it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Look at that. More Scorpio coming out. Yeah, definitely. This is what's happening right now. We're addressing any repressed, dense emotions that we've been holding on to. Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Look at that. That's synchronistic. We're in Scorpio moving into Sag energy. So things are going to start lightening up once we move into Sag. Sag is a more like fun, lighthearted kind of like, let's not be too serious type of energy, where Scorpio is one of like the most serious energies in the zodiac. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Awesome. Full moon and Cap. Look at this. Look at this progression. I mean, I couldn't have planned this even more perfectly. And this is exactly the movement of the zodiac. So we go from Scorpio to Sag to Capricorn. So I feel like a lot of people, if not everyone, has going through a rough cycle or a rough time lately. we have been going through a huge 7-year karmic kind of purge cycle with Uranus and Pisces. And that is ending. We're closing this up. So that's going to close in April of next year. So we have, you know, about a 6-month period. Now we're about 5 months in where it's kind of like, okay, like this whole 7 years have been, you know, addressing any sort of karmic, anything karmic that we're still attached to, or patternings, belief systems, dynamics going on, karmic relationships, even like karmic jobs. This 7 years has really put us through the ringer to really like learn the lessons, close out those chapters, those patterns, realign our energies, our belief systems, ending of very karmic things. And it's like these last couple months have just been like, you know, wringing out wringing out the sponge of like, okay, we have to do this. So if you've been resisting, or things are just closing up right now. But I like that as this closes up, we're going to start feeling the new energies. And kind of these karmic things we're going to start feeling lighter and lighter, and our experience is going to start to change as well. So this is awesome. I love this. So I'm just going to get one card here for each of these astrological aspects. So I'm going to get one first for Mercury retrograde entering Scorpio. So delight, interesting. So I feel like this is approaching this with a really lighthearted, fresh perspective. Like we're kind of just like, you know what, we've been through the ringer enough, like kind of surrendering to allow ourselves to flow through this a lot lighter and easier. And then the new moon in Scorpio, action. Okay, so that the new moon is really going to ask us to take some action on something. And like, it's almost like we're preparing. So the new moon is kind of that prep energy of like, what do we want to bring in? What are our intentions for the next cycle? And it's like, we're focusing on that. So then, you know, we can kind of bring that in. And then Sun and Sag, purification. Yeah, so there's that kind of more sunnier, light energy, but it's also going to be, so we have the sunflower, which to me is like Sag and the sun energy. And then we have the water in the background. So that's there's still going to be a lot of strong watery energy, which is emotions. And we're purifying our emotional body right now. And that's going to continue. It's going to be the strongest through mid-December. It's still going to lag for me. I'm still seeing this kind of continuing a bit through, like I said, Uranus finally moving out of Pisces in April. Okay, hopefully this is just more of a romantic ambiance. So hopefully you can still see. So let's get some tarot. So underneath the surface here, what's going on? We have the Queen of Wands. So we are going to start feeling a lot more, you know, especially water energy is kind of, we have the water and then we're moving into the fire, which is the Queen of Wands. So this is about passion and like creativity. And we are now going to start banking on this purification we're going through and using it to our advantage, because now as we're releasing negative, dense emotions, all of a sudden we're going to start to feel we have more of a clear flow of new energy flowing in from our higher selves. So this is going to be the energy of like inspired action. And we have the action card. So we're going to feel more inspired, more downloads, more creative energy that we're going to be able to utilize and then take advantage of then taking it and how am I saying this? It's about our outward action. So actions we're doing are going to be more founded on like inspiration from our higher selves. This can be like creative work or just work we're producing. This can be about just creative hobbies, art we do, but this can also be about creative shifting our dynamics and our relationships, or even our dynamic with ourselves. We have the Strength card. I love this. And the Devil. So also in my video, my energy update, a big thing right now is like us really finding courage and confidence and strength to face our inner world, to face our dense emotions, to face this karmic stuff. And we're really going to be faced with some of our deepest fears. And it's about facing our fears with strength, confidence, but also there's that duality of the lion in the Strength card about the like power of the lion and the strength. But also we're creating new power and strength, not from aggression or like power over or thinking like strength, like, you know, I'm big and strong, but it's more about in the standard tarot deck or card of strength, there's a feminine energy, and it's about balancing it with a confidence that's soft and understanding and compassionate. And that's how we're going to overcome this devil energy, which is our fears and also karmic ties. So that's kind of what's happening like from a higher perspective. So let's get just some more information or guidance about our physical experience here. So we have Six of Wands. Definitely we're overcoming this. We're on the tail end. Like we feel like we've been through some sort of emotional battle, but we are coming out, right? We're ending this tough period and we're coming out stronger, you know, looking back at the success we're at and how we're feeling now. And Page of Swords, Judgment. Yes, so to me, this Page of Swords, especially with the Mercury retrograde, this is about like conversation and information and how we, you know, put out information, how we put out our truth, how we communicate. And to me, this is like approaching this in a new way. We're almost approaching this from a new emotional perspective. We're learning how to do things differently is what's happening here. We're learning how to communicate differently. We're learning how to share our truth, exchange information. So this can be about the collective as well. We're going to see changes in how we're communicating things, how information is being shared, where it's more aligned with truth. This is also like getting to the truth of the matter. We're being cautious and discerning, right, about information we're getting, especially from the news, from social media, from outside sources. And we're filtering information through our intuition, through our third eye to say, does this align with me? Is this false? Is this deceptive? And we're being able to now approach things in a new way where we're more confident and strong, and we're going to stand in our truth. We're not aligning to other people's truths anymore, especially. And we're not allowing people to manipulate us because now we have that ability to kind of filter the information. And ultimately judgment here. So this to me is like rebirthing from our old life into the new life that we're being called to, a higher divine kind of way of living and being. And we have a lot of people are going to be faced with that fork in the road of like, are you going to continue down the same path that you always have and continue to live in challenge and suffering? Or are you going to change and transform and choose the new higher path that's going to lead you to unearthing amazing opportunities, unearthing new emotional kind of connections, just like a whole new higher life where, you know, miracles can happen, blessings can happen. It's just like we're really being called from a divine perspective, and that's why we're going through all of this. And it's getting dark, but I'm still looking through, and I think it's, the ambiance is still good. I'm going to actually maybe light another candle. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So I'm not going to do a normal, I think this was great information already. I'm not going to go too long here, but let's get just a couple. What's the action card? Just some clarifier on that. We have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, taking action on things you really want. And also taking actions, like this is the Nine of Cups, so this is about emotions again, of course. But it's about, we're now going to take action and do things that are aligned with our core desires, our core needs, things that we really want to experience. This is kind of like following your bliss too. So our outward actions are going to align more with our true authentic self, with by our truth. We're not just going to willy-nilly act on stuff without thinking about it, without really saying, does this feel right? Is this what I really want? Is this providing me fulfillment? All that sort of stuff. And let's just get one. I'm going to get one for the Queen of Wands. The Fool. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of letting go. We're finding we're going to gain more power actually, and feel more power when we release. Again, we're releasing this stuff from the past. We're releasing this emotional energy that's dense, right? So that would be emotions that we would consider negative. But these are being held on because we never were properly allowed to feel what we needed to feel in those moments where we actually ended up repressing these emotions, and we weren't allowed to we weren't given the proper support and container we needed to kind of overcome the situation without carrying it forward. And that's what's happening here, the Fool. We're starting a whole new path, like void of all this baggage that we've been carrying a long time. And that's when all of a sudden we're going to feel the power, right? The Queen of Wands is a very powerful energy. She's energetic, and she's magnetizing amazing things, abundance, you know. She's aligning herself with work that aligns with her passion and her heart. She's also aligning with relationships as well that align with who she is today. And you're going to notice that you're going to be very popular. You're going to notice people are going to be drawn to you more. What's the Page of Swords? Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I almost feel like we're going to now be able to, like I said, the Page of Swords can be really about discernment and like getting clear and communicating. But I feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like you're going to also start investing your time and energy and you know, connecting with other people based on, you know, it's going to produce, it's like equitable for you, right? It's like you're finally able to invest time and energy into things that are going to give back to you. And that's where you're going to be a lot more discerning moving forward about, not, allowing others to suck your energy and your time, and that didn't give back. What's the Devil about? The Sun. Yeah, it's now time to, it's like the opposite here. So it's like we went through a very karmic cycle, and we're shining the light on these things so that we can now focus on our happiness. So now we are like free and clear, where before we were really on automatic, where our fears were completely driving our decisions, our experiences, and we had a lot of karmic ties that were really blocking us from experiencing good things. And the Judgment. Four of Pentacles. It's like the Four of Pentacles, again, in the normal deck, it's like you're focused on all of the bad things in your life. But finally, the Judgment card comes in. It's like the universe has been offering all these opportunities, and you've kind of been missing them because you're so focused on like all the dense stuff, or focused on your belief system, these like belief systems that are self-deprecating are so strong that it's like, even though you're not able to see what's really unfolding for you, and finally, like, the universe is like blowing in, so you can't not see it anymore. Like, the universe is giving you something now, and it's going to be really clear. And it's also blowing up, like I said, all these self-deprecating beliefs, systems, these patterns. It could be like victim mentality. It could just be like always feeling like, life doesn't work out for you, that like, you can't find the right relationship, whatever it is for you. And then the Knight of Cups. So I do feel like love is coming in for you. Relationships are going to shift. There's just going to be new people and energy coming into your life it's going to be a lot more aligned with like higher frequency energy, and people are going to be, and especially if you're like looking for relationships or love, or just wanting to get out of relationships that have just been really karmic, I feel like the energy is going to start to shift in some way for you, where you're going to finally start making decisions for yourself that are finally aligning you with like your value and your worth and like your happiness. All right, everyone. Great information here. This is like spot on, like I said, with that energy update. So definitely take a look at that, because I think it's going to kind of add on to this. But as usual, thanks for joining in. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. There's a lot of energy happening. There's a lot going on. I almost feel like it's a week to kind of like be kind of introverted. This isn't a week about getting out there and socializing or being out too much. I definitely feel like, because people are going to be on high right now, and we're probably going to get triggered a lot or come across situations that are kind of dense, because people are going to be emotionally really high right now. Like, from a dense perspective, right? Negative emotions on high. All right, I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.